Well, good afternoon. This is Mr. Brandt over at Discovery Middle School. I wanted to send a quick video to all of my math families about the tests we took this week and some of the changes that we're doing with Canvas this year that a lot of you heard me share at parent-teacher conferences, or maybe you sent me emails with some questions this fall, and I wanted to send out one video with kind of all the things we're doing that we can see together and hopefully answer some of those questions or help clear up any confusion with our math grades and what happens with our test. Earlier this semester, I sent out a video to all of you about our check-ins and our tracking sheet. And if you've seen that video, you kind of see how those weekly check-ins are working and what we're putting in our tracking sheet each week with those pictures and the feedback. But what I'm going to show you today is what happens at the end of a unit when we get to our unit test. And we took a unit test actually yesterday, November 4th. And I have a fake account on my screen here that you're looking at. And I wanted to show you kind of what it looks like on your student's iPad and what their Canvas page looks like. You don't have to use an iPad or have to use your student's account to see all of this, but this is probably what most of you will see as you talk with your students about their grades. And I wanted to use this as probably an example we're all going to be familiar with. So on my homepage, when they go to Canvas, this is what their math homepage looks like. Whether it's advanced math or regular, it doesn't matter. And on the left-hand side here, they can click on grades, and up will pop the 3 tests that we've taken this year. We've done 3 tests, and you can see on the left-hand side the different learning intentions that go with those tests. In parentheses is the grade that they have. That's the actual grade that they have for that test. So the first one here on this account is a P. P stands for proficient, and we are always shooting for P's for all of our tests. N is the second one here. That stands for not proficient, and that's one that we have some severe missings on that we need to address, we need to recorrect, and we want to make that a P as we move forward. And this last one is the one that we actually just took this week. This would be learning intention number 2. I understand a ratio as a comparison of 2 quantities. And so this one, on this fake account that I made for a demonstration here, I have an IP, which stands for in progress. And when you click on that, there's some information that I want to make sure we're all aware of that I think will be really helpful for our families and for our students to kind of be on the same page with. This is kind of the more detailed version of that assignment, and you can see that, again, there's the IP for in progress. It says 0 points out of 0 points. You can ignore the points. We're not using those. We're just using the P, the I, or the N. And then what I really want to show you is where it says submissions and rubric. There's a lot here when you click on submissions and rubric that I want to make sure you can see, starting with these 3 files that your student has uploaded. They have one file that you can see here, which is their tracking sheet, and this is a blank one, but your students will have this completely filled out with all of the information they've been putting in for the last 3 weeks as we've been going through Unit 2 ratios. So they will have a picture of their tracking sheet. You'll see pictures, you'll see comments and feedback. And then if I go to these other files, you will see the screenshot that they took today of their test. And you're going to see a picture of the actual test that they took, of their questions, of their answers, and of different things that they've put on it. So you should see those pictures of the test, all of this uploaded to Canvas, so that if we lose the paper or we don't have the paper anymore, you've got it here from in class today. And that will then give you a big idea of where their grade is coming from. But if we want to see even more, you can click over on the side where it says rubric, and you will see the individual success criteria as being proficient, in progress, or not proficient. And to get a proficient for that test, they need to get proficient for all 3 of these. So in this example here, you can see on success criteria number 1, I'm proficient, and that comes from our test. And you can see here on the test, the blank test I have on the screen, those 2 questions are listed beneath success criteria number 1, and so that's how I know if they're proficient on that first one. Then if I go back to the rubric here, we can see I'm also proficient on success criteria number 2. And if I go back to the test and on your student's picture, you're going to see success criteria number 2 at the bottom here. There's a question that goes with it. As well as on the back of the test, you'll also see some more questions that go with that. But then you'll see on the final success criteria, I am in progress. I did not score proficient on that one. And I have a comment here where I've put as a teacher, I made this for my student, and again, this is just a sample account. It says, question 6, part C on our test on November 4th showed we are still in progress when using ratios to solve word problems. And if I go back to the test that I was just showing you, there's that question 6 underneath success criteria number 3, and there's part C. And again, this is a blank test, but your student will have their work on their paper. And so all of that shows you where on their test I'm getting this information from, on the rubric what I graded as their teacher, and that's what this is here. I gave them these grades for proficient, in progress, or not proficient. And then finally, once like we said earlier, you will see the overall grade for that test. This test would still be in progress because of that third success criteria. So all of that information comes together on Canvas, and you can see all of that there. If you just need a kind of quick view of where their grades are, we can see that when we just go to grades on the left-hand side. But if you want to break it down further, there's a lot more information that I hope is helpful for you as a parent, and also for your students to know what they need to do next in order to get proficient on all of our tests so far. So I hope that helps clear up some of the things we're doing this year. PowerSchool is no longer where grades will be posted. Instead, it will be on Canvas, and you can see everything on Canvas like I just showed you in this video. If there's any questions about that moving forward, please let me know. I'm always willing to help, and I hope this video helps kind of clear up some of that confusion with what we're going to see in math class this year. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys again soon.